Hello everyone, this is your professor. I apologize for the delay in getting this video out. First of all, let's just say that I know there's a deadline tomorrow for this draft, but let's not say that's the absolute deadline. Let's move it to after the weekend, so you can turn it in sometime early next week, and that's totally fine. I'm always flexible on deadlines in this class. It's not a journalism class, but I give you deadlines so you can order your life, so use them. And let's go ahead and call tomorrow on books the deadline, but it doesn't matter. There's no grade associated with the rough draft except that you did it. So it's okay. You can get it to me early next week. Because the reason I've been wanting to make this video, and I just got swamped with everything, sorry about that, is that I wanted to present a challenge to those of you who are like, I want to do something that's beyond the norm. Even if you're new to creative writing, you might want to try this. So now that you've got your idea for this nonfiction piece you want to write, and you did the storehouse of information, and now you've got an idea of how you want to tell the story, right? Remember, this is nonfiction, so you're using creative techniques like having well thought out characters and scenes and all that. We'll talk about that in the feedback. But you're using the creative techniques of fiction, for instance, but you're writing about something that really happened and telling it as truly as you can to the best of your recollection. So you got that all planned out. Now here's the challenge. If you want to do this, at the last second here, instead write it from the perspective of someone else in the story. So, for instance, if your story you're planning to write is about a conflict between you and another person and what that led to and how it changed your life, challenge yourself to write it as if you were the other person telling the story, and try to be as true as possible to what that person might do or might have done or said in that situation, their perspective and their feelings about everything. It could be interesting, to push yourself in that way. And what will happen is, if you take that challenge, it kind of forces you, it's the wrong word, but challenges you to look at the material in a different way. It opens your mind to another aspect of the material. And it's not like let's say you're writing about a conflict, like I mentioned, it's not like at the end you're going to go, gee, now I think the other person was right. No, they might still be very wrong. But seeing things from their perspective enough to write about it as if you're writing from their viewpoint can sometimes help you understand everything about the situation better, even if you don't come around to their way of thinking by putting yourself in their shoes. It could be from the perspective of a minor character, somebody who's barely in the story. So if you're writing about something that happened with you and like your church group, or you and another group of people or whatever, it could be somebody who was on the outside of all that observing. They don't even have to be a main character in the story that you were originally going to tell. That could be a fun challenge. Like have your story told from the perspective of somebody else who wasn't really that involved. That could be a good challenge. Maybe from a child's perspective. Their understanding of the situation. So I want to give you this creative challenge to take it in a different direction than just a straightforward telling of a story from the perspective of the person who experienced it, which is you. You could even go way out there. I'm open-minded. You could even tell it from a perspective of someone who doesn't exist. You could make up a character who witnessed everything, a time traveler or a ghost. Are we creeping into fiction there a little bit? Sure. But, we don't want to go all the way into fiction. This is still supposed to be about a real thing that happened, involving real people in a real situation. But I'm also open-minded about how you tell that story. So if some of you might find that exciting to say, you mean I can tell the story? Yeah, you can tell the story in any way you want. Basically, to delight your professor on these essays, the more you get away from the standard English 101 personal essay, which is fine for English 101, but let's get outside of that. I want to encourage you to play around with that form and to not write a straightforward way if you don't want to. Now, if you're intimidated and you're like, I'm doing well to write any of this because I'm not comfortable with creative writing, I get that, no problem. Then just write it straightforward, the way you would expect it to be written. I won't hate on you. It's okay. But I just want to offer the challenge for those of you who are interested. Know that you have a class where you can kind of get out there. I'm never going to yell at you. I'll just like that you tried something weird. That would be great. So think that over and reach out to me if you have questions. Happy writing, everyone.